Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 62 of the 9-Dar Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. On today's episode, Luke Littler wins one of the all-time great Premier League finals to reclaim the Premier League title. Luke Woodhouse, not even a errant PA system can stop him as he wins yet another PDC title, his second in a short period of time. And the group stage draw has been announced for the only World Cup that matters in sport happening this month. I'm sure also on top of that list will be Carlton defeating Geelong at the MCG last Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Josh Deeney would love me to suggest that. I'm Lorenzo Hayes. He's Josh. How are you?
Beautifully said. Nailed it. I'm well. Pretty well this week. Obviously, we'll talk about Carlton now. Paddy Cripps, just the man.
I didn't actually watch any of it. I was working on the
Oh,
Friday
you were doing
night.
hockey. That's
yes,
right.
I
Hockey
do
umpiring.
my community hockey umpiring.
Yes.
Out at the Camberwell Hockey Club there. So by the time the games were finished, I got back. I heard Jack Henry kick the go-ahead goal.
Yes.
And I was celebrating. And I've actually been coming back from hockey. You remember Gary Rowan kicking the goal after the siren to beat the Bulldogs in 21? I was coming back from hockey and listened to that in the car coming back. So as Cripps put the goal, put Carlton in front, I was thinking, oh, wow, imagine if I'm in the car for another Geelong win after the siren. It didn't happen, unfortunately, and the Blues are looking good. And all of a sudden, the 10 is a outside a possibility here for Carlton.
Yes.
Anyway, that's enough Australian football talk. The Cats play tonight. And Carlton play on Sunday, fair income against Essendon. Geez, Essendon have made your club look very, very confident in the last few weeks. But anyway, let's talk some darts.
Greatest game in the world. Darts.
Yes,
Let's go.
there's lots of competence here in this sport. And my first thoughts this week, Josh, is good things come to those who wait.
Yes,
Because
great
the
saying.
first 16 nights of the Premier League were okay. We'll remember them for Josh Rock's 9 darter, the only perfect leg of this year's tournament in Belfast. We'll remember Van Veen and Littler's bust up in Manchester. We might remember the next week in Brighton where Littler absolutely fell off a cliff against Stephen Bunting.
Yep.
Maybe you'll remember one or two other things depending on your favourite player if you attended a particular night, so you might have a special memory from going to the Berlin night if you were there or whatever. But for the most part, it was a little bit lackluster. But not finals night.
Oh, no.
Finals night delivered the goods. It was sensational. We had 4 top quality players. I would expect them all to be in next year's Premier League, whether that be a top 4 guarantee or selected as a wild card. Not that we no, there's plenty of rumours around what the format of that might be for next year. At any rate, I expect the 4 of them to be there. It was a fantastic night, a great advertisement of darts, and outside of one whistling incident at the one double, other than that, the crowd was excellent. And we had a great night of darts.
Sensational night. Like, I am so glad I got up and watched all of it because usually, you know me, I've got work in the morning. I watch the highlights here and there, but I'm so glad I didn't have it. And I
was busy on that Friday morning, so I didn't watch it until sort of mid-afternoon. So there was side of it on, but I didn't see any of the results. And watching it was quite something. And that final is generally it could be a top 10 televised darts game of all time. It was that good with the pace and the rhythm and the context of being a Premier League final and the two legs going together. And fair dinkum, my prediction nearly came off, Josh.
Very close.
Nearly did. Wow. We were 16 points away from Luke Humphries retaining, I should say, the Premier League title. Was extraordinary stuff. But let's start with
We'll play that last leg shortly because that was incredible.
It was an extraordinary
scoring
finish.
was just unbelievable.
Let's start, though, with a few of the crazy moments from the weekend. I mentioned this sort of off the top. The Baltic Sea Darts Open was...
firstly,
first,
the Darts Archive.
I forget that we took the Darts Archive first now. So before we get to the Woodhouse Gilding, last week I talked about Michael Van Gogh and Reem van Barneveld. Barney pulled off one of the great wins, a 10-6 victory in the final. It was 5-5, and there were a couple of crucial moments. Barney took out 94 last start in hand at tops when MVG was waiting on 36. He just hit a 171. And then MVG didn't give himself a dart of the ball when he really should have. And Barney won that leg to go 7-5 in front, got it to 9-5, and Van Gogh basically got a consolation to get a sixth leg thereafter. But it was a 10-6 win to Van Barneveld, one of the best wins of his career, certainly since switching over to the PDC. And he hasn't won a individual major since. He's won World Cups with MVG, but other than that, this is the last big title of Barney's career. He's still going.
He is still going.
He did play the Pro Tours this week, and there was some moments of, he didn't play too badly there. He had a few moments where luck wasn't on Alan Suter's side in that second block of Pro Tours, and he was using, I think, a K-Flex flight that I hadn't seen him use before. But so we'll see whether Barney's able to sort of bounce back and maybe make a World Championship at the back end of the year or anything else. But that was one of the great moments of his career. This wasn't a 9-dart finish, by the way.
No,
Missed the
unfortunately
8th
not.
dart for Van Gogh, but it was a very nice win for Barney in the 2014 Premier League final. Right, let's get to his and amusing moments from the European Tour.
This is exciting.
Yep.
So there was a... we actually missed... I might just go back a little bit because we did...
Just kicked in. It says something in German which I couldn't
The-
catch.
There was that Dun Dun Dun. It's a lovely little tune. Owen Binks was getting. So I highlight. This was a 5-minute video that I put together. We won't play it all. I might skip through
No.
some of it. These
Yeah.
are the entertaining moments that I found. So Woodhouse is leading 5-2 against Gilding. Second round,
Binks
Baltic
having
Sea
a
Darts
chat.
Open. Owen Binks is the referee. He tells them to head off stage. Crowd doesn't know what's going on. Dan Dawson and Matthew Edgar are the commentators,
Yes.
and they did amuse us
They
for
did.
the half an hour or so that this match was delayed.
Unbelievable.
So there we
Binksy's
go.
now
Off goes
going off
Binksy, and the
stage.
markers will go off as well.
Yes.
Damn it. I've got to try and do this properly without... this might be difficult for me. Hang on. I might actually go out to do this properly.
Yeah.
Come on. Here we go. Here we go, computer. So there was the dun dun dun. Yeah, so he got...
off stage now. Yeah.
Come on. Work for me, Camper.
Hopefully, we're going to have some sort of announcement.
So here we go. I wanted to get to here because then
Crowds.
Matt Edgar has to make it about himself.
Similar happened to me.
He has so many stories about Edgar. Like his
Oh, he
podcast
does.
and his YouTube channel is just him telling him about every weird thing that happened to him in his 15 years or however long it was as a tour card holder. So he was reminded of the time the lights went out at the UK Open when he was playing
Yep.
at Minehead there.
Escorted out the building.
The graphics was another interesting thing that perked my interest as someone who works in this sort of space or interns in this sort of space.
It's now graphic match.
We
will
made a
continue
graphic.
soon.
Good match will
Yep.
continue soon.
Crowd is sort of filtering out
Well,
of the venue.
some are
sort
filtering
of.
out, but a lot are sort of still there.
Still staying in the same spot. Yeah.
Come on, Canva, work for me.
Some aren't really sure what to do. They're sort of hanging around.
Did you beat Gary Anderson with a 170 finish? Do tell us. I didn't think that story was going to be coming up this week. Did you not? We'll go with it.
Matt Edgar famously beats Gary Anderson with a 170 finish in a Pro Tour game, and he
Yep.
speaks about it all the time.
Yeah, I know you had mentioned that already this week.
Mention it again. Why not?
Oh,
There we go.
my
No, good,
computer's
good.
disappearing from the screen.
I'm told that this
we go.
safety message has happened in error.
There's Swissville, the MC on the Euro Tour.
To leave the hall. Swissville is here, and everything is fine.
I got alarm is out of control, but I don't understand any other German.
Nah.
It is a false alarm. Do not worry. It may have been the Gilding Ultras going in
Great
fire
saying.
alarm, see if they could put a break in the game, and maybe it'll allow Andrew Gilding to collect his thoughts and then mount a brilliant comeback. Or it may just be a problem with the alarm. We've got the big boss
Oh, I love this line from
Yeah.
Dan Dawson.
here, striding around in his casual clothes like a
Silicon Valley Tech Bro.
You know it's serious when he turns up. But it would appear everything's going to be fine. I'm told the fire department have arrived, despite this now being confirmed a false alarm.
Pretty quick to get there, by the way.
Yeah.
Do have to
I'm,
check everything.
imagine they went far away.
Yeah.
A few more minutes before we
Crowd still chanting.
Yeah, they had to
tantalising.
you with the prospect of more gilding.
Don't they say that anticipation is sweeter than the actual event itself? Obviously, they don't mean that way, Gilding are concerned. Watching Andrew Gilding play darts is the most beautiful experience that anybody can have.
It's quite magical.
Yeah, here we go. Here's an error on the graphic. Woodhouse had already won.
Woodhouse has already won, according to that. No, he hasn't. Getting ahead of yourselves, graphics lads. Done 5-2 to Woody.
How many times this has happened in my time in media? Oh,
Hey.
Well done, lads. I's need to be dotted and T's need to be crossed. We're not sure how long that is going to take.
so
Yeah,
they want to
keeps
shoot.
playing on.
So they debated whether they should talk some more or be quiet, and then, damn it, come on, play, stupid thing. Come on, there was a couple more great points in here, and now it's not
Internet.
working for me.
Yeah.
And the internet here at Homesglen is not always the best. Let me
gone
try
bum.
and.
Took out that 146.
I want to do it. Hang on, just give me a second. I'm not doing this well, and now it's properly stuff. So there were a couple more interesting moments. Dan Dawson joke that we'll now give you Matt Primetime Edgar singing the songs from Cats. And then they also made the interesting choice of playing Queen's Don't Stop Me Now during an unprecedented stoppage. And then Dan Dawson misidentified Robert Thornton's Walk On song. He confused it with John Henderson's. He's got two big, likeable Scottish guys confused.
Highlander.
I'm not sure if that was as entertaining as I hope it was. I found the whole interruption very entertaining. That probably wasn't a great audio product, but we'll move on anyway. Ryan Joyce hit 3 balls. This was good. And Woodhouse did well from that stoppage as well, as we'll talk about later.
Oh, hello.
Ryan Joyce, 3 bullseyes out of absolutely nowhere.
Oh, yes. And mentioning earlier that probably wouldn't happen in his career, but now he does, goes and does it. That's
reminiscent
great.
of Simon Whitlock doing the same thing to win a Euro Tour game famously.
Beautiful.
The do it now. From, I think it was Paul Nicholson. Yeah, exactly. Do we have another crazy moments? Jeffrey de Graaf hit a 170 finish at the Pro Tour block. He had a very successful Players Championship at 19.
He did. Beautifully composed, bang in the middle.
But there's no champagne there. It's all about that. It's level at 4-4.
Yeah, that was to level the match as well. So we had some crazy moments, the craziest of which might have been what happened on finals night at the O2, because what tournament conclusion we had of this year's BetMGM Premier League darts.
Absolutely.
Luke Littler wins the Premier League once again. And if we go to, that's the last leg. We'll get to that in a second. I want to get to the scores first. Let's kind of go through the semi-finals way, if you will. First of all, 10-9 victory for Luke Littler over Goen Price. Once again, it's a close match between these two. It didn't quite have the same feel because he was, 9-4 up? Littler, and then all of a sudden, Goen Price rattled off 5 in a row.
He was 6-4, then took the next 3 legs to be 9-4. I'm pretty sure.
I actually think it was 4-4. No, it was 4-4. Then he won 5 in a row to make it 9-4.
Sorry,
Littler,
apologies.
And then Price won another 5 legs to get it back to 9-9. And then
Blocks
Price
of 5. Wow.
made a very bad mistake in the last leg. He switched down to the 19s to leave 342, which effectively gave Littler 3 visits to take from wherever he was. So that was a bad counting error from Price. Now, at our level, it doesn't matter because we need 20 darts to get down from there at least. But with these top guys, he really needed to go to the 17 segment to leave 344 because you can get a 180, 177, or 174 would have left to finish from there. So that was a big mistake from Price's point of view. Littler was able to get over the line 10-9 in that one, despite a slightly lower average. Luke Humphries got a 10-9 victory over Johnny Clayton. Clayton didn't miss a match start at double 16 when one person whistled at him. But the final was one of the great matches of all time. And it looked like it was going to be Humphries. Then it looked like it was going to be Littler because Humphries had a couple of legs. What was it? The 4th and 3rd last of the match it ended up being where he just sort of, especially that
dropped
third
off.
to last one, he just completely he went missing.
He really did.
And then from absolutely nowhere, he's able to find a breaker throw. And Littler misses a match start to win 11-9, and we get the maximum amount of legs we could get for the night. And
57,
let's go back and react to how the final leg played out. Humphries won the throw for the ball in the back room, so he got underway.
Wayne Martel on commentary, of course. 140 to start.
Glenn Durrant was the other commentator.
Yes, responds
former Premier League winner himself, of course.
Yep.
So back-to-back 140. So at this point, it's still all level.
Yeah.
These are why the 1 and 2. These are why they are previous Premier League champions. This is incredible.
Faith, Luke's girlfriend there. Misses the first and the 5, but recovers well on that third one to get 85. Just.
Yes. But the noise from the crowd when the 5 and the 20 went in, you were like, ooh.
I love that.
Good last dart. Leaves a non-bullseye 3 dart out.
To leave 156, treble 20.
And then these two had to go in the trebles. These two had to
Look
go.
At that. But this is where the blimp was here.
Yeah, this was the
treble
error.
The 20, and then finished with 43. It does a drive, is it? No treble 20. Again, that was the moment that changed the game, that leg. Yeah.
This is good counting here from Littler. He goes to the treble 17s because back-to-back those would have left 20. That's very good counting.
Again, had to take this.
Yeah.
Missed 19. When had to go 18s, missed. And then that was it.
He gets the last dart treble, which shows if he'd gone down to something slightly more manageable, he might have found something. And then, to prove to you that he's human, he missed that big 14. What were you thinking there when he hit single 11? You're thinking, it might not happen. No, it does happen.
Correct. And the reaction says it all. If he had missed that 20, oh, God. He thought it was going to come in for Humphries, but...
Yeah, that was if he'd missed, Humphries would have pinned double 8 first or second dart, and he would have won it himself. That was the margin. He didn't get a match start, but it was a 16-point victory.
I wonder if Humphries will be thinking of that 43 visit the whole night.
He would have. He would have been until the next time he plays him. He'll be even a ton would have got down, or a 60 would have got down to something possible 2-darter. So
he had 113 left.
He had 113 left.
It
could have been so much nicer.
83 with the left 2-darter. Yeah. Game of margins.
Yeah,
Game
that's
margins,
what it was,
guys.
and that was the slip. If there was ever a slip.
The slip. I know. One visit.
One visit was more or less all it was between winning and losing. 111.67 and 105.60.
You don't mind.
And the way it's always between these two. It's a friendly rivalry. It's a great rivalry. And the way that they it's the rhythm and the pace when they play each other. They really do bring out the best out of each other. They elevate each other.
100%.
And when they're against each other, it's a great watch.
Oh, it is. No, well, look, they'll be actually playing together in the World Cup next week, of course. Seed 1, if you didn't know, number 1, number 2 in the world. But so true. They do seem to play really well against each other, and it's just such a good spectacle when they play. There's never a dull moment. Average is always north of 95 at least when they play each other. It's great. So, cracking final. Just a cracking night overall. God, I was so glad I watched it all, but what a final.
What a final.
That last leg in particular was unbelievable.
And there's the great, I think, obviously these two, when you're top 2 in the world, you're sort of hoping for this, but they are so great for the sport, both what they do on and off the hockey. Humphries is always classy in defeat.
Yep.
And
very
obviously
classy.
we know what Littler's done with the explosion of interest in this sport. So so the two of them together, what they do on and off the hockey in various ways, and the way they've influenced things is you wouldn't want two more important and influential people being your number 1 and 2 than the two we've got with the two Lukes, and we just obviously Humphries would like to beat Littler a little bit more often
well,
to try and get it to as close to 50-50 as you can get.
He'll be fuming because he was 6-3 up. It was 6-3 up. And
Again, it was
the next
another
3 or 4 legs, whatever it was. Yeah, it was 7-7 at one stage, remember?
Yeah. So they do that.
Fourth.
And we saw there, they cut to the crowd a few times with the Littler family. It's been a rough Premier League, despite end up winning it.
Yep.
Started very poorly, had the aforementioned incident in Manchester, shocking performance in Brighton, and he was very close to not playing in the rest of this Premier League, Littler, he said in the post-match. And
should have put a clip in. Anyway.
Yeah,
but it was very
emotional.
Almost teary, emotional. I love how Humphries just comforted him. Like, again, he's such a classy sportsman, such a good look for the game for Humphries, honestly. But yeah, it just showed how much he meant to him, because you got the burden of the crowd every week sometimes, the travel, 16 weeks, traveling all around. It's like, it's a lot, you know?
Yeah. And there was the not very good start, and then he picked up the UK Open and the Cardiff night before. So then things looked good, and then they didn't look as good in the middle part. And he needed to find something. And this was an important night because there was still, he probably wasn't the informed player. It was Humphries was really the informed player coming into it. Littler less so. He did play very well in that match against Josh Rock. The week before as well. He won it, but he didn't play up to... both of them went up to their high standards that we saw in the World Match Play semi-final. So,
that was cracking.
So there was a little bit of pressure on to Luke too, and especially given he hadn't won... he hadn't won it last year. He had lost that title. He was looking to regain it. So that all of that was coming together. And just going back to the shots of the family, despite darts properly being an individual sport, you still need a good team around you.
And
he's got his family, he's got his partner, he's got Target Darts of probably the number 1 supplier of players at the moment.
Yes.
Their list is what they have at the moment is more or less all the top guys. Even though 3 of these guys are actually Red Dragon, not Littler though, but they probably have. It's between those two as the best darts players at the moment. So he has that network, which is important.
Very important.
And because as much as while you're playing on your own, there's still so much that goes about being a professional darts player where it's not just about doing things by yourself. You still need a good network of people around you.
Yeah, so true.
And he's got that expertly with family and friends on tour and his sponsors as well.
Professional sportsman, you need him for sure. Well, it's his. You know how he said the whole what deems is a major. We're saying this is a major, right?
Well, yeah,
so
we're saying Premier League's a major, no doubt. Some
fourth
people
major. So UK Open, the Masters
for this year.
Yes, for this year.
World Championship.
The World, of course. Yeah,
yeah,
and this.
yeah. So he's won he's won a lot of those. It's just that World Cup, and if you wish to count the World Cup, and European Championship at the end. Obviously, he's got the chance to do that next week with Humphries.
Yes,
and I kind of hope that. Well, I'd love to see Australia win it. I'd love to see Singapore win it even. But
who knows?
If I kind of hope at any rate Littler wins this World Cup before he wins the European Championship, so there can't be any debate, any doubting if he's got every major. Just get the World Cup out of the way, and then whether you want to count it or don't, it doesn't actually matter. He's like in a similar way, he's got the World Series of Darts final, so whether you count it or not, it doesn't actually matter. So very well done to Littler. Well done for Humphries for doing a fantastic second half of the
very good.
Premier League. Well, really last quarter, really.
Probably not last quarter more than half. But
yeah,
still.
exactly. Because
he was bottom
7th.
two for a while.
He was in big trouble.
He wasn't strife.
And he was playing well, but he wasn't really winning matches. He wasn't getting necessarily close to even getting to a nightly title, and we were already there for him for a second. But the last couple of nights, he won that nightly title, and then got to the final of the last night. So that's really got him into the right headspace for finals night.
Sure
he did beat Johnny Clayton, didn't quite get over the line. He was 16 points away from winning and retaining that Premier League, which would have been so special. I'll do a little Volcanto here. It's off the back of the emotion from Littler afterwards. And it also kind of ties into the disappointing moment on the whistling at the end of Clayton Humphries. And don't overplay this too much because it was really only one moment, and I didn't really pick it up that much when watching it initially as well. We can't have, and we can't risk players either just walking away from this game because it's getting too much for them. And we won't show anything that's been posted on social media by idiots looking for attention, trying to troll Littler or say that the sport has got worse. This sport has only got better. It's only got better. It's only more 100%. Important. There was a period there where right after Van Gerwen's prime had properly ended, where we didn't have a true number one. Price and Wright were switching it back and forth a few times.
That era,
and Michael Smith was risking becoming a major winner. Then he finally got over the line. But we didn't have every sport. You got to have. There's this idea where we want. Things to sort of change hands all the time. But that's actually not as entertaining as having someone up there to strive for. That's what Taylor did. That's what Van Gerwen did. You actually kind of need that. You need, the great Manchester United team from 20 years ago. You need the dynasty teams. You need someone there to shoot down and be a target for everyone else to match. So if things are changing all the time, you don't really have that person. So does Darts lead Luke Littler? Right now it does, because it's never been more popular as it is right now. And how many more of these cultural lightning rods are we going to get? Maybe Bo Greaves will give us a little bit of that if she was to really go and make deep runs at other tournaments. But we may not have these sort of things again. Maybe Mitchell Laurie does that sort of thing, but we don't know. We can't count on that.
No,
and the other thing is we want Littler to have the longest career possible because we want to see how close he gets to Phil Taylor's 16 world titles. Can you get close? Can he get to Barney and Bristow's 5? Can he get to double digits? We don't want to be sitting at the end where he retires at sort of 30 with 4 or 5 going. Well, we didn't see the longevity of what it could be. And the other thing is, well, this actually might be his peak. We don't know. We'll know in 5-10 years whether this is the peak. This feels like Taylor, Van Gerwen levels in their best. Certainly that final was certainly of that sort of performance. We don't know if this will be the peak or not.
He's still a teenager, guys.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
saying.
He's still 19. It's insane. Never looks his age, does he? But we need that. We need someone off the top. And yes, players will continue to dominate, but it's it's important for darts right now that they have someone up there who is the one to beat. It's Littler, and for all of you saying it's boring, well, the rest of the field just have to get better, right?
Pretty much.
If you don't want to see Littler Humphries play in the final, that means everyone else. That means Gone Price has to eventually get over this Luke Littler hurdle. That means Stephen Budding and Josh Rock and James Wade, they eventually have to, get over the line against these players. So they've got to get better and
Average higher more.
Take your
It's pretty
opportunities when you get the 161s, 164s. Those just have to go now because that's the quality that they have and take the opportunities there. So darts does lead Luke Littler right now because he is the player. If he didn't play any of these tournaments, they would sort of bounce around, and that probably wouldn't be as entertaining. That probably wouldn't be as newsworthy as having someone, or as even what's the word I'm looking for? It wouldn't be as the rest of the players wouldn't have someone to shoot. It wouldn't be as big of a
motivation.
Motivation. That's what I'm looking for. You wouldn't have the motivation of having this is the guy I need to knock off.
Discipline.
If that's changing,
motivation.
you don't have someone to focus on. You don't have the image of the one player who is the best in the game. So that's what every sport needs. And they can be either a face or a heel, depending on exactly what your perspective is and whether or not you like them as a player or that you consider them a favourite player or not. But we need someone like that, and currently Luke Littler is that. Other players could take that, but we don't know. We don't know who they're going to be. We don't know if they're going to be as influential. We don't know if they're going to give us a cultural lightning rod as well.
Yeah.
So we need Littler to be around the longest possible time. So. We need to make sure as a sport that he has that, because we want to see how close he gets to Taylor's records.
What age did Taylor finish his career?
Taylor finished at late 50s. He was 57 or 58, but he also started later. He only became a pro at 30. So that's important to throw in there as well.
That is true.
And of course, Paul Lim's still going. Now, Paul Lim isn't at a tour card holder
71?
level, but he's at 70. Is he 70? I think 72 now. I think he turned 72 in January. So
can't wait to see the World Cup, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Can't wait. So we can't have him putting undeserved assault at any player, especially your number one player, the one that is the motivation for everyone else to get to that stepping stone. You need that so often in sports, and we don't need whistling at the end of a Clayton Humphries semi-final.
He threw for the match as well, Johnny, on double 16 again.
It was only one moment, but it was the most important moment of the second semi-final, which is what makes it frustrating.
So frustrating. No, again, do I need to make another video, guys, on the whole whistling thing? I already made one that got like 1,000 views. Thanks everyone to watch that. But do I make another one?
Maybe every time this happens, you just need to make a video. And if you just keep doing videos, we'll get it to 1,000 more people and 1,000 more people and 1,000 more people. And then eventually all 8 billion people will have seen it and it won't be an issue.
Or might do what Dalton did. He got that like random 14 million vid that came out of nowhere. That could be me, guys. That could be me, even though it was, actual action, not me talking in front of a camera.
Yeah, so
but disappointing
we don't need that.
Especially throwing for the match and a final.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Premier League finals night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just a Mickey Mouse tournament.
No, certainly not. It's not. This isn't the Nordic Darts Masters.
No.
With no disrespect to the Nordic Darts Masters, it's covered up this weekend.
Awesome exhibition.
Stephen Bunting, defending champion.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have an exhibition because the exhibition for the proper loyal darts fans.
True, actually.
Right, so that's enough on the Premier League for this year.
After winning a Players' Championship title last week, Luke Woodhouse is back in form, I tell you.
Well,
jeez.
The line he said after winning this title was he hadn't won a title and then he's won 2 in quick succession. So it's like buses. You wait forever for one and then 2 show up.
Correct.
So Luke Woodhouse picking up the Baltic Sea Darts Open, a 6-3 win there over Andrew Gilding after having to be pulled off stage when he's 5-2 or 5-1 up. Cameron Menzies defeated 6-1. Then Jimmy Van Ski, who played really nicely, quarter-final for the big guy, 6-3. And then Ricky Evans got to a semi-final as well. Amazing for Rapid Ricky, 7-2 there, and then an 8-4 win over Ryan Joyce.
Had a good weekend.
Seeds were a flop at this Euro Tour. A lot of them fell really early. So we got to see some different names to come through at the back end. And for Luke Woodhouse, this is another one to tick in for me at the back in our preview, because he was another one who I said I'm expecting a big year from Woody. I just thought that he was beginning to really move in a positive direction. We're seeing that now, and on big stages as well, picking up a major Euro Tour title.
Yeah, he's good. No, there's some good average there. All of them north of 92. So especially in the crunch time when he needed to perform and hit those match darts and have good visits. He did. So very, very good for him. Yeah, the last fortnight he's been very, very good. So looking forward to seeing him in more action. Absolutely right.
Yeah, so very strong performances, everything in the 90s, so fairly steady performances from Luke Woodhouse. What about Damon Hector, though? Now, we put this in before the couple of most recent Players' Championship events, but
I did this on Tuesday, I think it was.
So here's Damo back in form, Joshy boy. Beat Carl Sedlacek, beat Will O'Connor, and beat Vessel Nyman. Now, that's a good get to beat Vessel Nyman these days.
6-2 as well.
And just going down to Damon Hector, not quite getting to Ryan Joyce, excuse me, not quite getting a match start. Well, you might say it was himself who lost it.
Scrappy game. But nearly got there.
He nearly got there. What are we making of Damon Hector's form? We might talk about this a little bit more when we get to the World Cup and our Aussie Players Championship events. But where we sing, I think there's just a few signs that we are beginning to trend in the right direction.
Yep.
But we might have a few faults. It might not be a continuous nice line like he might play really well and then play
a few blimps here and there.
Yeah, we might bounce around a little bit. There might be a bit more frequency.
The last sort of 3 weeks hasn't been good on the floor.
No.
We'll see in the results shortly, but he's either knocked out first, second round. Hasn't been great. But you reckon this gives him a bit of confidence on the big stage?
You would hope so.
You hope so.
It's interesting when we get to this World Cup because we know Adam Leake likes the stage.
Yes.
We think he's a stage player. And it might be the case that Damon Hender's form on the stage might be a bit better as well. So you might have some people maybe questioning this Australian pair, perhaps a little bit more than it is right to do so. So that is interesting. It was a positive surprise to see him get to a semi-final, losing to Ryan Joyce. Could we be seeing a bit more of a resurgence in Damon Hector's form at the moment? So. Hopefully.
Hopefully this brings the best out of him come World Cup and his form gets amplified with Leeky as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is the first time they played together and also, they both perform well on stage, as they say. So,
and no Whitlock for the first time for Australia. So that's that extra element of it there.
Exactly right.
Speaking of which, I mean, these are look at all these seeds going. Being third round, Way third round, Bunting second round, fair income. Not the second round again.
Just pause it. Who do you play second round? I'm just trying to think.
I can't remember. I saw this match as well and was very, very disappointed by what I was seeing. You'll have to double check that for me. Searle third round, Dobie second round, Aspinall second round, Menzies 6-2. That's right.
90 average. Yep.
Aspinall and Smith both second round. Same for Schindler, Watermain, Dedeka. Dedeka's another one he might as well be biggest flop every week now, Mike Dedeka, because Dan Dawson almost went after him mercilessly at the start of that broadcast. No, it was this week. It was at that Euro Tour. He was like, he hasn't won anything
I should put that in.
years.
Sorry, go.
Yeah, you should have. He hasn't won anything in months. He's on the Euro Tour, Euro Championship, Order of Merit. He's behind. I can't even remember who the player was, but it was a random name. His only win has been against, I think it was a tour card holder qualifier, not necessarily a host nation qualifier, though it sort of felt like it. He's done very little, Mike Dedeka.
Basically roasted him on air.
Yeah, he did. Since the World Cup of Darts when he and Vandenberg lost to the Philippines in that ridiculous Filipino comeback. It just has not gone right. And the thing is, it's not like the action's broken down. It's just the timing, I think. It's just the timing's off at the moment for Dedeka because he's not Ricardo Pietrusco suffering with dartitis sort of situation. It is the fact that he's just not hitting trebles and doubles as regularly as he was during that brilliant World Grand Prix, and even in the months thereafter. Winning games at the Grand Slam, of Darts and Players Championship finals, and even the first Euro Tour of the year where he should have been picked to the Premier League. Arguably, he went and made a final.
Yeah.
So it was still things were still looking reasonably well, but it's just been since the middle of last year where nothing's happened for him, and it's been quite remarkable.
Well, in our early preview this year about, who do we want to see well, who do we think? He was one of those names who was like, he's been in a bit of a lower patch late end of last year. Can we see him pick up? And
I don't think he's not in the World Match Play. I doubt he's in the World Grand Prix.
I'll take that.
You can double check that for me, Josh, but I doubt it heavily.
Match Playing Grand Prix. Stay with me whilst you do that.
And, I mean, are we going to see a guy who's defending the prize money of winning it not make the tournament? So we might see a similar thing with Richie Edhouse at the European Championship. So
Vandenberg's 39 on
Dedeka.
the main. Sorry. Well, he has been playing well, Vandenberg anyway as well. He's 41. 41 on the...
He's behind Vandenberg.
41 on the Pro Tour, 21 on the main order of merit.
Okay, so again,
so he's
that's
close.
He's close-ish, but
there's a big gap there.
He's not currently in the World Match Play. He needs some sort of run somewhere, and it's not looking like it's happening anyway from. So he may not even be at the Grand Prix, which would be sensational stuff at the moment. So, a lot of big names losing, some which were
similar. 20 as well. Yeah.
So some which were in very good performances by their opponents, so you can forgive them there.
You can.
But at the moment, certainly for my sake, things are not looking good.
No.
I have a question for you, Josh, for the I need to call you Joseph for the great debate. I'm all over the place today. We actually should shout out. I forgot to do this at the start. Devon and Jeremy for once again helping us with audio and the computer started. And that's why I'm a bit all over the place at the moment. So I was ready to talk about this an hour ago and had to wait forever. And just sort of forgetting the segments. Great debate, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Is the calendar too focused on the second half of the year? Should we have another major or two at that first half? Because after the UK Open and outside of the Premier League, which is only for the handful of top guys, we don't really see much of anything. This is this month's
June.
one. So we do have a World Cup, and we have some World Series events, some Pro Tours, and the last Euro Tour before the World Match Play cut off as well in Bratislava, Slovakia. But are we missing something? And what would you like to see if we were able to put on another major in that first half of the year? Should we move an event somewhere else?
What could we reschedule or postpone or bring forward?
The problem is that it can only be a 3-day maximum event because the Premier League's on that Thursday.
Yes, good point.
So it can't be something like the Grand Slam of darts, which is a week-long thing, unless you take a week off completely, which is not ideal. So there are. It's got to be it's only got to be a 2 or 3 day thing. Between 2016 and 2019, they held the Champions League of darts for the world's top 8.
Okay.
It was actually held for the first couple of years in Cardiff, Wales.
Oh, right.
And that would be great for that country and that venue to have a big event on. I know Gerwyn Price has said for a while he wants to see a major in his home in front of his home crowd. He doesn't get that. So that's an option. I was also thinking of the classic News of the World tournament over the best of 3 legs, first 2, the famous format that was effectively a World Championship before the World Championship started. And big names, Bobby George, Eric Bristow, Phil Taylor won the last one in 97.
Yep.
That sort of tournament, you can almost do a qualifier in and then on over 1 or 2 days do a televised stages. You could be proper. They wouldn't do this probably the PDC, but you could be proper interesting by saying even the big boys, even the world's number 1 and 2 have to go through the qualifier to manifest proper chaos.
Yep.
So those are a couple of ideas there, but it is going to have to be because what we see is a lot of players in great form who don't get any opportunity to pick up something of really big ranking value. And now that they have the World Masters now, so that's something there right at the start of the year and the UK Open. But it feels like through April and May we could have something else to join a Premier League night on the odd occasion.
It is a bit of a lull patch. Yeah, there's a lot of secondary tours. Like we had the Challenge Tour a few weeks ago. We've got
a lot of watchable darts with those Euro Tours and Pro Tours, but they're not galvanizing a non-darts audience.
Correct.
Because they're not televised outside of a World Series event. So I'm not sure 1,000% what the solution is. I did hear Vincent van der Voort. He said on his podcast, the PDC are looking to potentially add a major in Germany, apparently, because Germany have enough darts events as it is.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. The only thing he said about it that piqued my interest was it would be kind of like a UK Open-like event, which would be good. If that implies a 2 or 3 day event, then that's kind of the thing we're looking for. But at the moment, there's a lot of players who play really well in April and May, and outside of a European tour, they don't really have a big stage tournament to look forward to really prove themselves. And that's why something like a News of the World type of event would be good, because you'd invite all the tour card holders, perhaps you'd invite some amateurs as well, and some affiliate players, kind of like merging what we do already with the World Masters of the UK Open for another event.
Sure.
And there's a lot of places that want darts on their schedule at the moment. So that's something for earlier in the year. It would have to be in the Europe range. You would in the Europe region because that's where the Premier League is being held. So you might have a Premier League night in one of the Scotland cities before going to another Scotland city if that's where this major was, for example.
Yeah.
Or
so sorry.
You know what another event would be interesting? Could you hold a World Cup this time of that time of year, maybe? So we've got a couple of ideas there that I think would work.
Yep.
Any of those that particularly tickle your fancy in any way?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because if you push one forward, then that sort of makes it a little bit more separation. But I don't know. I don't have many ideas. It's a relatively fresh concept we've just been talking about. So not sure because right now you got World Cup of Darts, Nordic Darts Masters, US Darts Masters, all in the same month.
So there's a few TV events.
There is,
but none of those are ranked.
No, there's no
you mentioned.
majors.
No.
Yeah.
No, nothing like really important ranking wise. So obviously
rough ideas.
So
far.
So the main ones are just that Champions League idea for the world's top 8 for proper top echelon, or perhaps you can redo that. Or a News of the World type event, but it's got to be a little bit different. It can't just be like the normal leg play. We got to have something a little bit different, whether it be
some set play
whether you have a set play,
or like a best of 12. Or you can have some draws in there.
Yeah.
Or if you did the Champions thing, that's cool. But like, is it more or less like
it's more or less the same thing.
Premier League spectacle?
It is a little bit. The difference there would be when they did the Champions League, the group stage was first to 10 and the knockouts were first to 11, so they were a little bit longer. They were a little bit different. I actually think that's what made the Premier League darts final so good, because we'd seen Littler for 6-7 weeks in a row play Humphries.
Yes.
But that was over a race to 6. The fact that it was a race to 11 made it a little bit more novel. So that's an option there as well.
Interesting.
So the calendar's probably too focused on the second half of the season. It'd be nice to have something in the another ranking major in that first half of the season before the World Match Play, before the World Cup. It'll be difficult to do because it's only got to be a few days.
Yep.
But there are some avenues and there are some alternatives where they could, alternative format ideas that they could utilise. You've actually got the future star this week because Henry Coates made a run to play Championship 20.
No, this is unbelievable. Like, he is in some crazy form, this guy, after winning Week 3 at Modus in Series 14, so he'll be in Champions Week. Look at this run. Darius Labanauskas, Andrew Gilding, Ricardo Pietrasco. Good to see him make a top 32 with the Darts. Issues Dane Oppett, again, that sort of Premier League B type player. Joe Cullen, who's been playing some decent stuff. And then Ross Smith, who won, which we'll get to him in a sec. But look at those numbers, man. 96, 92, 99, 91, 92. Just unbelievable. Just some incredible stuff. And we've been watching this guy for a while. We've been knowing how good he is on these affiliate tours as well. I think it was his late call-up as well, because I think a couple of people dropped out. But he's been good on the Challenge Tour, so incredible stuff.
Yeah,
incredible
doing well
stuff.
on the Challenge Tour gives you these opportunities.
Exactly does.
That's a great run for Henry Coates. He's our future star this week. Jeffrey de Graaf won the first of the block of Place Championship events, Place Championship 19.
Yep.
Beat Sedlacek, Lipscomb, Rock, Brooks, Nyman, Woodhouse. Informed man, and then Johnny Clayton as well in the final. Was a very strong performance, and yeah, they were very similarly matched obviously in that final, de Graaf and Clayton, but de Graaf getting the win.
He hasn't gone too well in these sort of Pro Tour events, de Graaf, but Tom Talks Darts, I think you see him sometimes as like English
sometimes
guy
sometimes it pops up.
Yeah, I think he put it. I think it's his second Pro Tour title, and a lot of the games from other Pro Tours he got out like second, first round. So this is a really impressive performance from him. So again, being some quality players like my man Josh Rock, made top 32, not great, but won a little bit of money there. But yeah, some good stuff. He's in some decent form at the moment, Graf, got to say.
Yes, indeed.
These were the numbers overall, 95 total, 26 180s. My finishing was really good today, especially at important times. This is what got me over the line today. Well, no crap, but also it's good to see he's aware of his game and what got him to the victory. So very good performance from him. Ross Smith, he's in some good form as well. He won the 20th edition of the Players Championship event for this year. Again, some crazy numbers. Cord Decker, Dominic Grulich, Ian White, Christo Reyes, who's been playing well. Andy Bolton made a quarterfinal. Henry Coates, again, unbelievable. A semi. And then Willie O'Connor, the Magpie.
And look at that average in the final, 107.01. It's the highest for the year in a Players Championship final, winning, yes,
108
above,
there.
and 108.5 against Ian White. There's just the levels that Ross Smith has, especially when he's the 180 machine that we know he is. gives you these sort of numbers. So just a cracking performances overall, and getting over the line in the last leg decider as well against Henry Coates, setting himself up for that 107 average in the final.
He's already won 3 titles this year.
So there's a
Been
second
runner-up.
place championship event and a European Tour title.
Yep.
As well, a runner-up spot as well. So he's had a very good start to the year.
That's what he believes, and that's what you think as well.
Yeah,
No doubt.
so he's one of these players who's perhaps a bit of a dark horse for the World Match Play.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe with the way he started this season. Our Australian segment, and it's a bit thinner this week
Very
because we didn't
thin.
get any wins,
2
unfortunately.
last leg decider losses, unfortunately. Yeah.
For Leek and Heta, both averaging in the 90s. And then Lukasiak got over the line in the last leg decider against Damon Heta. And then Adam Leek, which was on a streaming board.
Yeah, I watched that later on.
Against Stephen Burton. He went 3-0 down. He was averaging 77 to Burton's over 100. There was some good darts, last dart in hand, doubles in crucial moments where he had to hit, and he did. But unfortunately, Steve Burton, who was playing very nice at the time, was able to get over the line. And it is the
98's very good.
last Plays Championship events that these guys have before we get to the World Cup. This is what the match play looks like at the moment. So we see there Ross Smith, a 14 seed now. Tadeka mentioned earlier, he's not playing well, and he's number 20. There's a bit of a gap opened up now between 16th and 17th on that Pro Tour of America side, Menzies and Bielczewski. Bielczewski's not in the Slovak Darts Open Euro Tour 9 as well, so that doesn't help his cause either. So for the likes of Gurney and Cross and Heta and Menzies, they're breathing a little bit more of a sigh of relief. That's actually good. That's actually quite the distance that Heta's got there above the guy in 17th, given the fact he didn't win any money.
True. If he had won 1 or 2 games across the 2 Pro Tour
he
events,
might have
he may have gone
already been a lock, but
13, it would have jumped over Gurney, I reckon. I think it's 1.5k each
1.25.
victory. Yeah, give or take. So, yeah, would have jumped, and they had like sort of a 10, 11k
he would have had a nice
give or
buffer,
take.
really nice buffer, but that's actually not too bad for Damo at the
horrible.
moment. Right, let's talk about. You and I love this event.
I love
if
that
you don't
photo.
love this event, then
Both actually,
then you might not like
that
darts.
left
The
one.
World Cup
Wow.
of Darts. Josh Rock, your man, and Daryl Gurney, the defending champions for Northern Ireland.
That right there is enough to make a grown man cry.
They won't be in the group stage, being a top
No,
4 seed. So
seeders.
England, the Netherlands, Northern Ireland, and Scotland are the top 4. But we have the groups.
You do.
And well, the Australian group might be the most interesting one of the lot. Australia, along with the USA and Canada. So Australia and USA playing at both the World Cups of this month, but this is the more important one. This is the one where the group stage will actually matter.
What's FIFA? Never heard of it.
I believe it's a international criminal organization. I believe that's what they do. And that's less of a joke than it might seem because, oh boy. Anyway, so Australia's with the USA and Canada. What were the groups that stood out for you? I thought that the Germany's group with the Philippines and New Zealand, with the way Pietreczko's been struggling lately, could be a bit of a struggle. I think Hong Kong could be a little bit of a danger there for Belgium in Group B. Maybe similarly for Singapore with Ireland in Group D. There's a lot of these matches where Group D is won, Group F is won. There was another one, Group J as well with Latvia and Italy, where the winner of the first match probably beats up on them. They both beat up on the minnows on the second day of the tournament. So that first match might decide it. In terms of groups of death, Australia's in it's not in the most difficult group we could have had because we haven't drawn a European or an Asian nation.
It's trickier.
But it is trickier with
Probably the
the North American nations. I feel like Croatia, Japan, Spain's an interesting group. We talk about Chris O'Reyes, what a start he's had, and can he do it on a big stage for his country?
Group A could be interesting. Poland,
Group E
Portugal, Switzerland.
could be interesting. I feel like just Poland are playing so well at the moment, the Polish pair, that I think that's going to be a bit out of reach. But Group L's the one that, for me, that is the one that's probably the most likely to go any one of 3 ways. I don't expect Finland, Norway, or Hungary to win a match after getting out of the group, but
groups.
I could see that group going any one of 3 ways. We'll talk about it more next week.
We will.
But it's a fascinating draw.
Because obviously this is
interesting ties in
It only
here.
came out last night.
Yeah, so
we'll do a more analysis next week.
we'll do a
but
full
this is just
preview of the World Cup of Darts.
Yeah.
In our, we might do. We'll be our great debate for next week. Who makes it out of the groups of the World Cup of Darts? And
Very
you and I
exciting,
last year,
nonetheless.
I did a lot better than you from memory because you just basically picked the seeded nations, and
terms
I
to
picked a lot
win?
of to win the
the whole
groups,
thing.
and I
Yeah.
picked a lot of a few more unseeded nations, and even I wasn't quite about. A lot of unseeded nations won last year's group, so
true.
a lot of those Asian nations really came through at last year's World Cup. So we'll see if they can back it up again.
Yep.
And
Very
so
interesting to see Wales in the 7 seed. Obviously,
no
Price
go
not
on
playing
Price.
because Nick Kenny is
that's
substituting.
what I just want. Without go on
Yeah.
Price, there it's a little bit frustrating because there's so many interesting storylines here. The English, we know them. We know the Dutch team is very good. Northern Ireland defending champion. New look Scotland and Australian team.
Yes.
There's questions over Germany and Belgium. If Wales had Go and Price, like we would have had an amazing list of teams. That one's just lacking a little bit. That the Welsh pairing isn't as good as it can be and should be.
Yep.
But at any rate, I'm fascinated by this draw. I'll be keep staring at it, trying to work out who makes it through the groups. Come back next week. We'll discuss that. This was the world's top 100. This was actually after the Baltic Sea Darts Masters, so it's a little bit out of date. But Luke Woodhouse was a big climber. Christian Kist and Christo Reyes continues to go up, as is Carl Sedlacek and Nico Springer as well. Shane McGurk is the one that's there at the 100th position at the moment. So things relatively stable there at the top. Stephen Bunting and Josh Rock, they're that 8 and 9 spots, Josh. I think we're meeting second round of the World Match Play, I think, barring getting we might, our guys might get a terrible first round draw, so maybe not. But I think that's a very likely collision course over the best of 21 legs at second round of the World Match Play.
Who else? Oh, there's Chris Arrays, obviously, doing great stuff again. Jimmy Van Schie.
And Jimmy Van Schie was the other one off the back of a very good European tour, picking up some prize money and jumping into the world's top 100. He was 101 before, and now
89th.
he's 89th in the world. Hugh Ware was announced as an ambassador for the 2027 Euro Games, so congratulations to Hugh's done obviously great stuff over recent times. He's done a World Championship final, and he's a very deserved ambassador for the 2027 Euro Games, which is I'm going to rush through a few of these because we're running out of our allotted time, or so to speak. We've been at this for a while. And this story was actually a few weeks ago, but Matt Edgar, Prime Time, is a big name that's going to the WDF World Masters, and he's been doing vlogs on his YouTube channel. Showing his preparation to go to Vegas, where they're holding the 50th edition of this coveted darts tournament. So he's one to look out for when we get to that World Masters. He's a big name there, so check out some of his stuff. He does great stuff online, does Edgar. A Series 14, week 5, Ashley Coleman getting the better of Tommy Morris in a last leg decider. So many last leg deciders this week.
Well, it's usually 4-2 in this modus, but 4-3 this week. So Tommy Morris, he had one Group A, dropping just the one game, made finals night, and then Coleman beat him in a very, very good last leg decider. So he'll be the 5th named champion. So we'll go through the role for this series very shortly. But Keegan Brown, he returns Brian Rahman. Tomoya Goto, the Japanese. Japanese, yeah?
Yeah, Japanese for Goto,
who else is Tommy Leishman, he had 9 data on this stage as well. There's some good names for sure. Group A standings, Rob Grundy has made Group A just 10-5 with a 20-point finish there. So, yeah, he's been pretty good throughout the week. I did watch a little bit last night, so it's good stuff.
He's gone ahead of Keegan Brown, who's in second place.
Goto as well.
Finished second place.
Up. And here is the weekly winners so far. Michael Huntley, Neil Duff, Henry Coates, again, playing some good stuff. Archie Self. So, week 3 and 4, 2 young guys making a seniors, I guess, normal modus week. That's good. Ashley Coleman is the week 5 winner. So still 7 weeks to go. So it's coming around quickly.
The Nordic Darts Masters is in the week ahead, Josh. This weekend, Sports Biggest Party goes to Copenhagen for the World Series resuming. The draw was done a little while ago. I can't remember everything off the top of my head.
Not too sure.
So I don't think there were actually any Danes, despite the fact that this tournament is being held in Copenhagen, which is a little bit weird. But that'll be on during the week, and we'll discuss it all next week. Stephen Bunting, the defending champion, having won the title last year.
Yes.
So he'll be there. James Wade, I think, will be there, back on the World Series for the first time in a little while. So a well-known name and very deserving off the back of some of the performances that he's put in recent times.
Where are we going?
This year's Darts Archive, this week, excuse me.
We're doing some World Cup fixtures now. So 2017, Netherlands versus Wales. So let's make some notes. So Netherlands here.
This was the old World Cup of Darts format.
So Netherlands, MVG and Barney are playing. For Wales, it's Mark Webster and Gowan Price. So this is very fascinating. So how it worked at the time, best of 7 fixtures. It was just the singles format at the time. Netherlands took the first point, as you can see, 1-0. And then there was a late turning point that may have caused an upset. We'll find out next week. But
yeah, so it's
love the old World Cup.
So everything
fixture.
is, in this format, it was a race to, in the final, it was a race to 4 legs to win a game.
Yep.
A point gets you a game.
Yep.
They would play the 2 singles games, a doubles fixture, and then if needed, reverse.
There was.
Singles matches as well. You've really teed me up to go to the Classic World Cup final next week. I think. Will I do that, or will I zig when I thought you zag? I might do something different next week. We'll have to.
I have left it open for you.
Yes, I might flip a coin to decide what I do next week because I have 2 things I want to do in my head. We're available on Spotify and YouTube, as has been known, and also on the social medias. Now, I just want to do one thing before we finish, Josh.
The ADA, Facebook.
Yes, well, sort of. A couple of things. I wanted to put this in the document, if Campbell will let me. We've been a bit all over the place in this show. Apologies, it hasn't been as good as it usually is. But which one? It was one of these 2. Let's try this one. Will this do what I want it to do? Is this the file?
I'll look at the Facebook.
You double check that. So we still haven't got any news on the ANZ Premier League dates, frustratingly.
No.
We have tried contacting people, but no one's gone back.
Yes, I called them
this
twice.
Is the right one?
You've sent them on
I've
Instagram DM.
I've tried messaging people, but nothing has happened.
Nothing.
At the moment. Now, yes, okay. So last year, I took the screenshot because I used the date time calculator.
Ooh, okay.
Last year, on the 27th of March, was that video where everything was announced, and
Yes.
we bought tickets that day, didn't we not?
Literally that moment.
So the 27th of March was when last year's Premier League darts tickets, ANZ Premier League tickets came out.
Yes.
There was 191 days before the 4th of October,
Which is when the first night was in
when
Melbourne.
that Melbourne night was.
Yep.
We're going to have to be around 100 days now, and we don't know
anything
about
Don't know
ticket
dates,
information.
don't
We
know
don't know
times,
dates.
don't
We
know
don't know
venues.
venues.
No.
We don't know what's staying, what's going. It's amazing it's taken this long.
Format, whatever.
We're less than 100 days from, for example, that NFL match is going to be held at the MCG. It's going to have to be a couple of weeks after that. So we're around that 100-day marks, we imagine.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's still on the qualification criteria for the Premier League, for the Grand Slam and for the World
Cup.
Championship.
Sorry,
I'm still assuming it's going ahead until I see anything else. But it's been 100. It was 191 days last year. It's only going to be about 100 this year. Come on, guys. What on earth is going on? It's genuinely starting to worry me. We're a couple of weeks away from the from that Melton Premier League night as well. This thing.
Yes.
Anyway.
That's a couple of weeks away.
It's a couple of weeks away.
I'll be there hopefully. So I'll have no more assignments. I'll be a free man.
All right.
Happy
We
days.
might leave you on this. This is covering the see you next time, and I can't get rid of it without refreshing the page, so I'm not going to bother.
All good.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Pleasure as always.
Good show. Well done to Luke Littler for winning the Premier League and Luke Humphries for making the final. Such a great spectacle. What a fantastic classic match it was. Thank you so much for listening. The podcast will be available as an audio only shortly after its upload on
5 p.m. YouTube.
Next week, we are previewing the World Cup of Darts, and hopefully, maybe soon Budding defends his Nordic Darts Masters title. That'd be nice.
That'd be cool. We'll find out.
This has been the 9 Dart Podcast.